In this movie, I'll show you how to use the Refine Radius tool, which is a tool that's available to you exclusively when you're working inside the Refine Edge or Refine Mask dialog box. So here I am looking at that same image from the previous movie. I've applied a radius of 20 pixels and turned on the Smart Radius checkbox. Now what we need to do is go ahead and scroll our way up to the hair, maybe zoom out a click because I'm a little too close. Now notice that as I'm moving my cursor inside the image window, it's a brush. And that brush represents this tool right there, the Refine Radius tool, which allows you to brush more radius into your image. That is, you're brushing in a larger area of edge detection. Now you can change the size of your brush up here in the options bar. Notice in my case it's set to 25. Or you can press one of the square bracket keys. Now on the Mac, you're going to have no problems. On Windows, it's a little tricky because the values get stuck, and so Photoshop isn't paying attention to you. What you need to do if you want to take advantage of the bracket key trick is you need to turn on the Show Original checkbox and then turn it back off so that the option is kind of sticky there. And then you can press the right bracket key to increase the size of the brush or the left bracket key to reduce the size of the brush. I'm going to increase the size of my brush to, say, 100 pixels, let's say. And then I'm going to start by brushing into that background in between the hairs, that bit of beige background, then I'm going to brush back and forth. And notice what a difference it makes. It goes ahead and gets rid of that background and replaces it with blue right away. And the reason is I just brushed in more radius. If I turn on the Show Radius checkbox, you can see I brushed in this region that was formerly, if I press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac, that formerly looked like this. All right, so I'll press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac again to redo that modification because you have one level of undo when working inside this dialog box. Now I'll turn Show Radius back off and I'll brush along this main row of porcupine quills in order to bring the individual strands of hair into the sky. And then I'll go ahead and brush into the back of this guy's head as well in order to get rid of the background that was showing through there. And I might as well brush into this little sort of cowlick or whatever it is in order to get rid of any remaining remnants of that previous beige background. All right, now I'm going to zoom in on the head and notice this area right there, this little bit of highlight that's showing through. I don't want that. So I'm going to reduce the size of my brush by pressing the left bracket key several times. Now, you can go ahead and click and hold on the Refine Radius tool and switch to the Erase Refinements tool, but you don't really need to. You can get to it on the fly. So I'm just going to leave the Refine Radius tool selected, and I'll press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac. And notice what was formerly a plus sign inside my cursor becomes a minus sign, showing me that it can brush away radius. So I want to say, all right, you know what, Photoshop, your edge detection isn't working so well here. So I'll go ahead and brush away at that forehead, and we get back the original masked edge, which looks a lot better. All right, here I think we could use some more edge detection. So I'll just go ahead and brush some stuff in as opposed to Alt dragging or Option dragging. And then I might sort of zoom in at this location, reduce the size of my cursor some more, and press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac to brush away some of the front of the sunglasses there. Let's see what else we got. We might have some problems in the guy's nose, so I'll Alt drag or Option drag inside the tip of the nose there in order to restore the original appearance of that nose. We know we've got some problems in the chin, so I'll Alt drag or Option drag like that. And that goes ahead and reinstates the better version of the chin. It might not be exactly what we're looking for, but we'll have to fix that later. And then I'll go ahead and brush up along the mouth and lips as well in order to bring back those original edges. Here's the problem. Now, I don't want to just go ahead and Alt drag or Option drag like that because I'll get some of the old garbage that was no good. So I'll go ahead and press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac in order to reinstate the edge detection. And by the way, what you're brushing back to is what you had before you chose the command in the first place. So if you ever want to test what's going on in a region, then you turn on Show Original and you decide, well, is it better or is it worse? If it's better, then I need to brush it away. If it's worse, I need to leave it intact. In my case, it's worse right at this quarter location. However, it's better along the red collar. So I'll turn Show Original back on so I can see what I'm doing, and I'll Alt drag just right along here like so. And that goes ahead and gives us back the good stuff that we had before while keeping the new good stuff as well. And I might just go ahead and reduce the size of my cursor a little bit and click right there in order to make sure that I have that corner. I'll go ahead and brush along here too. And that helps that whisker area tremendously, actually. All right, now I want to scroll, and here on Windows, if I want a spacebar drag inside the image window, I have to click inside a numerical value to make it active. What a pain in the neck. Again, you lucky Macintosh people don't have to worry about it. And I'll scroll my way over to the shoulder here and notice that it's a bit of a problem. So I'll Alt drag or Option drag along the shoulder in order to reinstate it so we're not seeing any of that bad blue. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out by pressing Control minus or Command minus on the Mac and see what we've got. And things are actually looking pretty darn good, I think. I might just try pressing the right bracket key a few times in order to increase the size of my brush and painting right back there in order to see if I can get some more blue into that hair region. And I think this is it. Now, there's one last option that I'll show you, but I'm going to tell you that I don't care for it. And it's this one down here, Decontaminate Colors. It's located in the output options. Notice Output 2 is set to layer mask. That means when you click OK, you're going to modify the layer mask. If you turn on Decontaminate Colors, which is going to try to modify the actual colors inside the image in order to better match the new background, then you're going to see a slight shift in the colors in the hair. They're going to get a little more purplish. And then you can increase that amount value to make them even still more purplish or what have you. And in my case, it looks like it's filling out the hairs, which seems like a great thing. Problem is we're going to output this image to a new layer with a layer mask. The layer mask is going to be the same layer mask. We're going to be modifying the colors inside the layer, and we're not going to be modifying the colors uniformly. That's the problem. The color shifts only happen right around the edge of the mask, which means if you need to go back and make manual modifications to the layer mask, which we do, then the new colors won't look right at all. So if you've been following along with me, what I'm going to ask you to do is turn off Decontaminate Colors and then switch Output 2 back to Layer Mask because we want to make permanent modifications to that layer mask. All right, I'm going to Alt drag in that little area of hair there in order to reinstate the opaque hair. And I might do the same right here and see what I come up with because we're going a little too far with those modifications. Let's see if I Alt drag or Option drag up there. Now we've gone too far with getting rid of the edge detection, so I'll go ahead and drag like so. This time I'm dragging, not Alt or Option dragging. And I end up with this result, which I think is about as good as I'm going to do where this command is concerned. So go ahead and press Control-0, Command-0 on the Mac to center my zoom, and then I'll click OK in order to accept my modifications. And that's how you take advantage of the powerful world of automatic edge detection using a combination of the radius value, the Smart Radius checkbox, and the custom Refine Radius tool available to you only when you're working inside the Refine Edge or Refine Mask dialog box.